Well, I did not plan on filming this video today, but it came up, I absolutely had to. So here's what I am doing. I just filled up my big pot here full of hot water. I'm going to get this pot boiling on the stove. And the reason that I'm doing that is because we have 2 roosters who are, well, they're becoming a nuisance and we are getting complaints. We have been asked to get rid of the roosters. I have been trying for the last week to find them a new home. Nobody wants roosters. Go figure, right? So plan B is to make rooster stew or some rotisserie chicken or something. But I've got one bird behind me here. I'm not going to show you the culling process because that will get me canceled. So these are not meat birds. One is an Americana, the other one is an Easter egger. I don't know how the meat's going to taste. We're going to find out. But I'm not going to waste the meat, that is for sure. Alright, I have my thermometer in the water now. We want to get it to 150 degrees for 1 minute. So it needs to stay at 150 degrees without dropping for 1 minute. Whenever we put the birds in, it's going to drop in temperature. It just is. 30 seconds, I'm going to start checking for the feathers to feel them, see if they're loose. Sorry about Shadow, he yells. I'm at 148. It's been steady for over a minute. Just hit 150. I'm going to watch the clock. Alright, the black one here was cold first. Rigor mortis is starting to set and it's starting to get stiff, so we're going to go ahead and dunk this in the water. Come out. Okay, now that it's been dunked, we're just going to pull the feathers off. It's really just that simple. Don't really need a fancy plucker for this. There we go, that is a hand-plucked bird. It's definitely going to take 2 of these to feed the family. took me 23 minutes to pluck the bird's feathers. That's really not that long at all. I saved all the feathers. These big ones specifically. Emma asked me to save them so we could make some quills. So we're gonna try that out. I'm gonna wash them real good, and that'd be a pretty cool quill. Okay, now we are going to divide up this bird, get it ready to go into the roaster tomorrow. I'm gonna do it here on my sink. I have my cutting board, and then over here I've got my little strainer. I'm gonna put all the intestines and insides in. So first things first, we're gonna cut the feet off. We find the joint here at the bottom, take our knife and slide it through. Now that looks more like a store-bought full bird. At this point, we need to cut the inside here out. So we're gonna work with the legs, bend them a bit. We're not trying to break the bones, but it's starting to get stiff. First thing we're gonna do is cut the tail portion off. So we're gonna flip it over, come to the joint here at the tail. Okay, now we want to be careful not to hit the bladder or the anus. So we are just going to follow it around the pelvic bone. Alright, now down here, this is what we did not want to bust, okay? That would contaminate all of the meat. I know what it is. Okay, I didn't come up here and cut the esophagus. That's the issue here. I need to loosen the esophagus. That should have been the first thing I did. It's been a while since I have harvested a chicken. Got the organs and the heart out. There's one kidney. 2 kidneys, very good looking kidney. It's a very healthy chicken. And there we go. Oh man, I cut the gullet. We did not want to do that. Crap. Alright, we can work around it. Now let's say you did what I just did and you cut the gullet because you got a little overzealous. I'm keeping the legs and putting the legs in there, okay? Now here's the next process. We need to empty out the gullet. Okay, away from the meat. Okay. Alright, I got the gullet sack out on this bird too. Gonna cut the tail feathers off, the tailbone. Remember to be very careful here. It's one thing to cut the gullet, it is another thing to cut the bowels. Cut bowels is contaminated meat. This rooster has some giant inside organs. chicken number 2. Alright, I went ahead and put my 2 chickens in this roaster pot that I have. This is the biggest pot that's not a turkey pot that I have. I'm going to cover these over with plastic wrap, stick them in the fridge, and then tomorrow I'm going to pop them in the oven, probably roast them low and slow at like 225 for, I don't know, 8 hours, 10 hours, something like that. I'll throw it in right after breakfast. So keep an eye on it all day, and that will be dinner tomorrow. So that is my low and slow process for processing birds. These were not meat birds, but we did get a lot of complaints because of them being roosters and cockadoodling all day and all night, and in all honesty, I've not slept in almost a week, so I should be able to sleep tonight, which is good. Did mess up on a couple of cuts, but I was able to fix it and correct the issue. I busted one of the, see now I can't even think of the word, I said it earlier in the video, I'll put it down here. I busted that, the gullet, okay? Where all the food was. Normally before you harvest birds, you want them to go all night and probably all morning without eating. So 24 hours without any food. That way you don't have that big buildup and also a waste of food. Now if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. YouTube's algorithm loves the likes and it really pushes our videos out. Leave a comment down below if there's anything you want me to know. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to Hollow Acres Homestead for more content like this and more content on homesteading and gardening and woodworking and herbalism and all kinds of things. Tomorrow I'm going to roast these birds up. I will be making a whole separate video just for that. Thank you again for hanging out with me today, and we'll see you next time here on Hollow Acres Homestead.